Hi, this is Leigh, and I'd like to welcome you to Alchemy Intuitive Arts. I am your host and your tour guide to take you on a cosmic trip through the spiritual galaxy. So if that piques your interest, punch your ticket and join the conversation. So today I'm going to make a video. I made one last year. I made one 6 months approximately after that. These are my predictions for the year ahead. I know that we're already in year 2025, so I want to go ahead and get this out so that I can give everyone a heads up on what I think is going to be happening so that you can use your third eye, your discernment, to make decisions about what you see and what you experience in the coming year. The first prediction, I see 2025 as being the year of authenticity. Authenticity. What does that mean? Well, I think many people are sick and tired of these highly procured images and highly procured shows, propaganda, lots and lots of people that use mega filters and AI and cosmetic surgery to become somebody that they weren't born to be. And I have nothing against cosmetic surgery. I've had cosmetic surgery. I did have breast implants for a long time. I took them out because they were making me sick. And when I tell you I was sick, I was really sick for a long time. And no doctor could help diagnose me. When it started, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. I had unexplainable fatigue. I had just no energy. It was really bad, and I really just thought I was dying, and that's after many years. And I'll tell you what, the second I took them out, I felt like $1,000,000. I felt so much better. It was crazy. So I'm not downing anybody with plastic surgery. I think it's great. I still support it. But I'm talking about a more natural approach to what is a woman, and I think this especially applies to women. Women seem to be the ones that are really doing the most to change how they look. It's almost like a uniform that people put on through plastic surgery. I'm not saying they don't look good. I'm just saying that I think it's important that we accept each other the way we are. And I have nothing bad to say about people who get facelifts and people who, might use medications to help them lose weight, because I think it's worse to be unhealthy, weight-wise, because that can bring on diabetes, that can bring on, health problems, heart problems, all kinds of things like that. It's a balance. And so we all need to look at what's best for us. But the goal is authenticity, not only in how we look, but how we live and what we say. Being authentic about yourself and about what you value is so critically important, because being authentic means that you're honoring yourself. And if you're not authentic and you're trying to craft a narrative with people about who you are or what you value, then you're really not being authentic to yourself. And from a spiritual standpoint, that is not evolving. So authenticity is one of the biggies, and we're beginning to see that already with people talking about authenticity, people reversing some of the surgeries that they've had. We're seeing more on the news and more in, various TV shows and whatnot that are more authentic. So I think 2025 is the year of authenticity. Next up is 2025 is going to be the year of people waking up. People waking up to corruption and propaganda and false flags and crafted narratives. And this kind of aligns up with the prior prediction about authenticity. I mean, we are all sick and tired of the big money drain, the fake narratives, the corruption we see, and even the people that we've looked up to for many years have been up to things behind the scenes. And so I think as a whole, we are getting tired of that. And along with that comes, the protection of individuals, especially where trafficking is concerned. So that would be the next prediction. I think we're going to see more things revealed about trafficking and child trafficking, but not just child trafficking. Trafficking of all sorts that can include adults, people trafficked for work, people trafficked for their body, people trafficked for other things, or people just being exploited in general. So I think we're in the year of people waking up to this type of behavior, and how many people have been making money off the backs of innocent people, and especially children. This is an ugly subject, and nobody wants to discuss it because it's so horrible. We close our eyes and our ears, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. And that's good from a spiritual standpoint, but it's not good if we're neglecting various populations. Going to see is a move towards equilibrium in how we treat people. And that comes along with the authenticity. You know, you are who you are. You look how you look. We all have DNA that is made up of various cultures. You know, many people will look at me and I am one culture, but my DNA holds other things on it. Your DNA is comprised of many, many, many generations of people that intermix together. And when you host that with various lifetimes, if you include reincarnation, then you also have information within your subconscious, and some people manifest that outwardly in how they approach life, that incorporates various cultures, moving towards this thing of looking at humans as humans, moving away from this whole demographic or this whole racism thing or this whole us and them type of thing. So I think moving ahead, we're going to be looking more at an equilibrium, and we are going to be moving towards that. And in that, we are going to be moving towards the protection of cultures and people and children that have traditionally been not held in high honor or respected or protected. So that's important. And I'm not neglecting in any way things that people have experienced because of their color, because of where they grew up. That's all valuable. And my vision is that as time goes on, 2025 and beyond, we're going to see people rethinking that whole thing about who can play with who, and this whole thing of this is my pond and you're over here, you know, the whole mean girl kind of thing. That's just dying. You know, that's no longer of value, because as a population, as we evolve, we are not going to value that anymore. And we're not going to value the marginalization of children, of people. The next thing going along with that is a big transfer of wealth. And this transfer of wealth is going to be happening especially because of social media. And I think AI will also help with that. But the transfer of wealth, you know, it's been for many, many, many years that a chosen few have held the wealth and everybody else is broke or you know, struggling. I think that this is going to change because there's going to be greater opportunity for people to make money themselves, to be their own boss, to become entrepreneurs, to have businesses online. And much of the commerce is going to continue to move online. And that's going to be taken out of the hands of these large corporations and put more into the hands of you and I. Transfer of wealth. And along with that transfer of wealth this is a huge one coming up, is AI. I mean, I am just going to put out my disclosure right up front. I'm not a technical genius. I'm not an expert in AI. I don't program anything. I did work in tech for probably 20 years in various capacities. So I understand a little bit, enough to see what's going on, and also the downloads I get tell me the writing is on the wall, the cat's out of the bag, Pandora's box is wide open, and AI has been unleashed. And I think there's many people advocating for some change around that, and I agree with that, but I think that AI is learning at such a pace that it's incalculable. I can't say that. We can't calculate it. We can't calculate how fast it's moving. It learns at beyond a logarithmic rate because there's so many different things feeding into each computer that it is learning from everything. I mean, even on YouTube, we're getting little messages as creators that are asking us, do we want to feed our content into the learning tool of Google? And if we do so, our content is going to be picked up and leveraged by unknown third parties. And there's a lot of brilliant engineers out there. But brilliant engineers aren't even going to be able to control this because it's already out. The cat's out of the bag. And how that impacts you and I, it's going to impact us significantly in what we see on the computer. We may be given images, photographs, videos. In fact, we're seeing them right now. I just saw one the other day, I think it was yesterday, regarding the royal family, and somebody debunked it, that this photograph was crafted. It wasn't authentic. And it's going to be less and less easy to discern the authenticity of these images, and we will also see narratives being crafted in the news, on social media, and other places that are not real. And it may even get to the point of, big events that influence people to make decisions about their personal life. Maybe people may get pushed to make decisions or to lose their rights around the AI narrative that is being pushed. And we can also see this in videos or pictures of our favorite celebs. And of course, Even you and I can go in and craft up a narrative about ourselves. If we have the time and money and the ability to do that, we can just craft up a whole narrative about ourselves and make ourselves look like something we're not. Or what we're going to see as well is more and more narratives that are being used to harm people. Somebody doesn't like you. Someone or a group of people don't like you. And so they come up with a plan to tarnish your image, to make you look bad, to make other people think that you're not valuable. Well, this is in play right now, and this has happened to many people. You know, we've heard the stories about AI porn where somebody will throw somebody's head on the body of somebody else, create a whole narrative about them that's not accurate, and then, you know, shoot it around social media so that lots of people see it. And of course, people are going to download it because it might be enticing or alluring. That's another way that AI is going to be used. Along with that, we're going to see a push towards replication of our reality. Replication in terms of people, places, and things. And this is going to be pushed hard, and the replication occurs through AI. And we're going to be replicating, you know, for example, Las Vegas or confirmation. We're going to be replicating, say, some famous people or influencers. And right now, people think it's a badge of honor to have themselves replicated in AI. They think, oh, look how important I am. I have an AI replica. You are feeding into a whole duplication of your world, of our world. Money is being made off of people's images, off of people's personalities, off of people who are significant in some way, or whose image or opinion, etc., have the ability to make money. I'm sure there are many engineers and software engineers and companies that are working on these projects. Some of these people have a moral compass, and some of them don't. And so we're going to see this type of whole thing with AI explode. Another area it's going to affect is regular businesses. Regular businesses, like, you know, where you purchase things, stores like that, are going to be closing more. We've been seeing this trend for a long time. Things are going online, and AI is behind the scenes working to process things. We're going to see AI more and more as a learning tool, as a development tool. I mean, it's gonna take over our whole world, and we are going to potentially see it beneficial in the way that it can maybe help solve problems, maybe help solve things with health-related issues. It may reduce the cost of things that will then help people have a better life. People will be more efficient in the tasks with AI as a tool. So these are all things related to that. The next vision I have is about the continuing change in the supply chain, and this is all rolling back to, the last topic. It's even more than that. We are seeing our food supply changing. We are seeing more and more choices being removed, and you can find that yourself. You go through any store and you just don't see the same products that you used to love to use. They're no longer available, or they're harder to get. You have to go online to find them. And this is going to continue to happen. The supply chain is going to shrink, and that is going to limit the choices we have to the point of where you will not be able to have more than just a few choices. And all of this will not happen in 2025, but this has already begun. It began a few years ago, and it's going to continue on and get tighter and tighter and tighter. Also seen things with the food supply as far as like fake food. There was a lot of TikToks, and I myself have been disappointed in a lot of the fruit and vegetables that I've purchased. In fact, I throw them out. Avocados, watermelons, things like that. The meat, it just is not the same. It doesn't taste the same. The texture isn't the same. And so these are also things that we're going to see. And I'm not sure why this is happening. I'm not sure who is driving this. I'm not sure if the seeds are bad. I'm not sure if the food is bad. Or maybe the medications that some of the animals are being given is changing their body structure. I think it's a combination of all of those things. The next item has to do with conflict and aggression. And this is at a local level. You might see it at a national level, or you might see it at a world level. We're seeing continuing escalations, what could be called microaggressions, but on a larger scale. One country coming against another country. We just saw Ukraine cut off the pipeline of gas that Russia has going into Europe. These I would call microaggressions, but on a larger scale. Maybe economic aggressions. We're seeing overt aggression in Israel and on the Gaza Strip, and how this conflict is impacting people. We're seeing, this Ukraine and Russia thing again continuing. It hasn't gone away. It might have died down a little bit. We're still seeing, this this thing and that thing and this thing and that thing, and from all different countries. North Korea, for example, North Korea a while back instilled martial law. Now, North Korea's got the most strict rules in the world for their people, and now they're going under martial law because the dictator there doesn't like the way things are going. You know, we're going to see the rise of some countries and the weakening of other countries. We've seen drones on American soil. We don't know exactly what the heck is going on with that because nobody is saying anything with our government. But these are all these microaggressions from one country to the other. And this continuing escalation could lead to a more serious event. And when you have all these various countries from all over the world getting involved and making alliances, well, we've seen this before. But many people are too young to remember, or they didn't show up to class that day and read their textbook. They didn't pass the test about American history and world history. We've had a couple of world wars, and it's not impossible that that could happen again. It's up to you to use your discernment, research, to trust your discernment about what you see and how to interpret that, because that's going to impact everybody. And if it does get serious enough, we may see some events where there might be power outages. We might see, times where we have to rely on each other. And I don't know how far out into the future this is, but I do see something of this nature happening. Moving into 2025, I think we're going to see what we saw in 2020 with the aggression towards the new administration. And I think they're going to have a rocky road, although I think that they will instill some things that are going to help people. Help with the economy and help lighten the loads of people, bring things back into balance. But I think there is a contingent of groups worldwide that don't want that to happen. And even though this presidency was brought in by popular vote, we are going to see conflict and challenges. If you recall back to the last time this president was in office, we had, the virus come up, and that shut the country down. And so I see something that's going to be significant like that. I'm not sure how it's going to show up through conflict, like literal conflict with other countries, or bombings, or it could be illness of some sort again. Hopefully not, because that was a mess. But through all this change and conflict, I think we're going to see again the nature of governments change, the nature of technology, and the leadership of technology valuing different things. I think we're seeing that already with some of these people that are beginning to make different decisions about their social media platforms, maybe taking steps towards freedom and freedom of speech. So I think we're going to see a rise in that. And then in the other way with AI, I think that's going to limit freedom of speech in some way as well, because you're going to be fed what the algorithm wants you to see. This is all going to change our relationships with each other, how we trust each other, and how we value each other. And I think that people will be moving back towards more authenticity, as I said in the beginning of the video. The other thing I see is a real growth towards an understanding of oneself and the nature of the universe. And I don't mean like a deep scientific, quantum physics kind of understanding, but more people moving towards spirituality, potentially towards a foundation of religion, or moving towards just an understanding of a power that is greater than oneself, and more of a belief in that. And of course, that's what my channel is about, and that's what I talk about, is spirituality, divine law, universal law, God, and how you can use that as a tool to improve your life. And so people are going to start hearing that more. They're going to start doing things to raise their vibration. And of course, as you raise your vibration, the vibration of the whole is going to raise, and that's going to be good for everybody. So if we want to get ourselves out of this darkness, out of this drama, out of this BS, we need to raise our vibration. The easiest way is to have healthy joy. Go for a walk. Dance. Listen to good music. Have fun with friends. Meditate. Pray. Do affirmations. I am healthy. I am happy. I am protected. I am peaceful. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Do these things, and you alone can help raise the frequency of the collective, and we can get ourselves out of this matrix that we're stuck in. So, yeah, start a conversation. And with that said, I wish you all a peaceful 2025. Stay tuned. Peace. Love.